Hello, all. Mark Warshawski here, co-founder of MovingWorlds. I'm excited to be back here with another expert here who's just returned from the field. I'm talking today to Ali, and we got a fun couple questions for her. So, Ali, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Happy to speak with you, Mark. Thanks for having me.
Cool. No, our pleasure. And we heard a couple, tidbits about your experience, and I've got a couple questions here to learn just a little bit more about the work that you did. But before we even start talking about the project that you did in Lebanon, I'd love to just kind of hear a little bit more about who are you, Ali, and what were you doing before you went experteering?
Sure. So I have been working at a tech startup in New York City for the past few years, and actually was planning to attend grad school in the fall and undergo a career transition. So I had this summer off. I wanted to do something exciting and adventurous, but also complement this new sort of chapter in my life. And that's how this all came together.
That's great. And are you still starting grad school then in just
Yeah,
what I
I
guess
just started. Yeah.
what's your grad degree going to be?
It's going to be a degree in international business, so it's a hybrid business degree and international affairs degree. And I'm really interested in studying social enterprise, which is something I had the opportunity to do over the summer.
Well, I guess that kind of bleeds into my next question a little bit, which is, so why did you decide to go experteering?
So for exactly that reason, I wanted something different and challenging. I had a free summer to do so, and this really aligned with my professional aspirations and also scratched a couple travel itches that I had been trying to scratch.
So then tell us just a little bit about the experteering project that you actually got to work on and the organization that you went to Lebanon to support.
Yeah, so I worked for a social enterprise called Sharek that was based in Lebanon. They had sort of a flagship program that was called Mommy Made, which was essentially a social catering line, meaning that they trained underprivileged women and Syrian refugees, as well as some other underprivileged populations, to become chefs and to have a skill set in the hospitality industry, and then match them with permanent employment opportunities across Lebanon. Simultaneously, they had a passion for food. If anyone has met someone from Lebanon, they know that food is amazing,
So good.
a big part of the culture. So they developed this catering business to provide delicious Lebanese food across the country, and train these women in the process. So all profits that go towards the catering business support the vocational training program.
Oh, very cool. And that's especially in what we're hearing in the news, like that's a huge deal right now, right? I think there's a very notable percentage of the Lebanese population that's actually like Syrian immigrants, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually a quarter of their population right now.
Wow.
So, and there's already plenty of populations that are struggling to find employment already in Lebanon. So, anything that can create jobs and employment opportunities is welcome.
Sure, yeah. And and we heard a little bit of this from you, during the planning stages and a little bit afterwards as well. But also in the news right now is, Lebanon. We're not hearing it's the safest place in the world. And so single female, right, going over there to travel. How did you kind of get comfort with some of those potential security issues, and maybe what advice do you have for others who in a similar position?
Yeah, that's a really great question. There's a lot of misperceptions about Lebanon right now. Some accurate perceptions as well in the media. Bottom line is I did a ton of research, and I found a lot of credible sources. I actually was fortunate enough to be able to leverage my graduate school network, which is a international affairs network. So spoke
Sure.
to the head of Middle Eastern Studies at my graduate school. I actually spoke to someone in the international security business who is familiar with the situation. I really did my research and
Yeah.
concluded that the specific area where I was going was very safe for someone in my position.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I guess there's a similar message there, right? Like a country is not a region, right? And the region is not the country. And so, I think kind of diving in and digging into those specific spots you're going is a really good lesson
Yeah.
for people to hear. So very cool. So, okay, so you've returned back, you've had a little bit of time to reflect. If you think back about the experience that you had, what was the best part about your experteering trip?
Oh, there were a lot of best parts. My initial thought was the Lebanese food, but really it was the people at my organization who were incredibly welcoming and incredibly passionate about the work they were doing, which was very inspiring. They really wanted to see, social change happen in their community. So I developed some very close relationships, and hope they come visit me. I hope I can return the favor because they were such great hosts. So that was hands down the best part of the experience.
Cool. Yeah. Just getting to know the people, right. And build those relationships. Very cool. And then tell us just a little bit more about the work that you did. So you're working on kind of strategic marketing support and helping, upskill some of the people there. Tell us just a little bit more about that.
Sure. So, the organization was at a point where their vocational training program was doing really well. It was winning international awards. They were churning out a lot of successful employment matches. And so they were sort of pivoting to focus on the business aspect. And at the tech startup I was working at in New York, I was managing the marketing efforts. So I had this background in marketing, and they actually didn't have an in-house marketing presence at the time. They may actually now, but so I came in. I was only there for a month. I didn't have that much time to really, dig in. So rather than sort of implement something on a day-to-day, I helped them craft a overall marketing strategy that they could implement after I was gone. Another big initiative for them was customer renewals, getting people to order catering more than once. So we actually installed a customer relationship management tool that they never had to help them organize that and stay in touch in a different way with their customers. So hopefully, these will be changes that help them going forward. We'll see.
No, very, very good. And you've just returned, from the experience, right? But we always say, success is something that happens after you leave. So it'll be fun to kind of watch and follow both their progress and also yours. So very cool. And then what is, if you kind of think back to what you know now and what you knew as you were planning, what is one thing that you wish you knew before you started, this experience?
Yeah. So that's a good question. I think one thing that caught me by surprise is I came in with this what I thought was a tangible skill set, a marketing skill set that I'd been honing. But when you enter a new culture, a new environment, you find that some of those skills may not be as relevant as you originally thought, and you actually have to sit back and learn and just soak up information about the environment you're in before you can actually make a positive contribution yourself. So for me, it would have been good to know I wouldn't, be able to hit the ground running on day one, which is what I wanted to do. You kind of have to take a back seat and absorb before you can move forward.
Yeah, no, that's great, right? There's one of the titles of the Talk Center training video, right? Says, if you want to help someone, shut up and listen, right? I think it's kind of that same idea, but yeah, I think it's funny, especially, and not to stereotype anybody coming from New York in a startup scene, but it's very, go, work, and
it did not apply in this situation.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Totally
very
different,
little
right?
Overlap, but I learned a ton from the experience too. I'm very grateful to the organization for expanding my horizon.
Yeah. Cool. That's great. Well, and like we said, we've gotten some feedback from the organization as well that, says it was an incredibly positive experience, and we really look forward to hearing more about it. So last question for you. So think about, Ali, not 2 months ago, but maybe 6 months ago when you were just starting to think about maybe going on an experience like this, right? What's some advice that you would give to somebody who's thinking about going on an experteering trip?
I would say if you're looking to immerse yourself in a new environment and also make a positive contribution to that environment, you shouldn't consider it anymore. You should just do it. It was a wonderful experience, life-changing both professionally and personally for me. And, if you have the opportunity with some free time to do it, I would say absolutely go for it.
Cool. Well, that's great. Yeah, just go do it, right? Always a good little push. Well, no, that's great. And Ali, thank you so much for taking the time, not only this was probably the easy part, but I think, more so for really stepping out and kind of taking that risk and giving your skills to an organization that needed it at the time that they needed it. So, we really appreciate, of course, this call, but in the broader context, the great work that you did. So thank you so much, and it's really been a pleasure talking to you.
And thank you to MovingWorlds for your assistance in placing me with a fantastic organization and all your support in the process. So,
oh, cool. Thank you. We appreciate that. Thanks, Allie.
Yeah, thank you. Bye, Mark.
Okay. Bye.